Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Fabulous Friday right here on OPNS 97.1. I am OPNS CEO and founder, Shanta Moore. Welcome. We do have a treat for you today. And I always try to keep you informed on what's going on. A lot of people say, well, I don't know where to go to get this, or I don't know where to start to get that. Well, I have made it my business to make sure that I can communicate with you and connect you with, hey, those avenues that you need to get what it is that you need. So, hey, on this fabulous Friday, thank you for tuning in. Please tag, share, and invite because what we grow best together. So, as you can see, I have a guest today, and I'm going to let him talk about him, but I will tell you, I met this young man several years back doing business as I always am, and was introduced to him doing his thing. And it's amazing how here, oh Lord, seems to be 4 or 5 years later here we are. You never know how those avenues and those connections, how they're going to work out for you in the near future. So welcome to OPNS, Mr. Q Harper. Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning. Thank you. I am wonderful. Blessed by the best. Thanks for having me, too. Thanks for having
Yo,
me.
you are welcome. You are welcome. Now, I've been meaning, I wanted to do this some time ago. I've been in radio for a while and I saw your journey. And a lot of people, my hashtag on everything is hashtag here we grow. And a
Yeah.
lot of people think that you get the idea and you wake up on Success Boulevard. It doesn't quite go like that. And that's where the here we grow comes from. And I watched your grind and I watched your hunger regardless of who didn't support you, regardless of who told you they were going to support you. And then you pulled up to this table and you eat by yourself, but I still saw you continuing the journey. And it just resonates in me. That's what it takes to build the kingdom. So I definitely want to talk about the things that you have going on and specifically Project Keep Them Off the Streets. That is, I saw something. I saw you did a Fox 5 interview and I saw that. And I was just like, okay, now is the time. Now is the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, he done made some leeway and they're now in the know. Talk to us about Project Keep Them Off the Street.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, Project Keep Them Off the Street. We call it PCOTS in short form,
Okay.
which is the acronym for Project Keep Them Off the Streets. Started off as a nonprofit youth organization. I believe back in 2006.
Okay.
Even when I myself was doing the wrong things, I have always had a sense of community and the
Okay.
heart to give back.
Okay.
And it started about actually in church talking to my mom and wanting to work with the kids because of some of the things I went through. And
Okay.
my mindset was from a founder standpoint was because God allowed me to live and survive and then tell the story. So I was going to the projects like you know all the way on the west side bank here, like going home, and I would just get breakfast and just see kids outside like early in the morning with no parents. So I would
Mm.
actually go buy breakfast and just come to the hood and just eat with the kids. Then we started doing like Toys for Tots. So we've always been involved with Toys for Tots, and even when the Project Overcoat came about, we've always been active in these huge access to the community. And a lady one day just she was like, "Hey Q, you know they have grant money for what you're doing." I'd never heard of a grant, didn't know what a nonprofit was. But once somebody plant a seed or put that kind of information
Yes.
in your spirit, you have a couple of options. You can just hear it and keep it moving. But I'm one of those people. If you give me something as an investment, you know what I'm saying. If you watch me long enough, you're gonna see me move in them areas of what you instilled in me. So that's when I started
Right.
doing my
Right.
research and things of that nature. But Project Keep Them Off the Streets um, is where our goal is and our mission is to successfully I don't want to say make attempts because we're successfully doing that, and that's to spare our at-risk youth from the unnecessary hardships of the street life, being in, i.e., gangs, disease, drugs, crime, violence, prison, death, sex, truancy, by exposing the reality. So I started this in the beginning as a scared straight program, meaning I
Okay.
brought
Okay.
in. Mhm.
No, I'm
Right,
listening.
right.
I didn't know this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right, right. So this was initially like a scared straight program where I brought in people from, different people from prison, different walks of life that, like you just said, this topic today, tried, tested, and conquered, to bring them people in. Because a lot of times when we look at the youth, a lot of them hadn't been in the streets. They saw TV, movies, music, Big
Come
Brother.
on.
So they living out these stories in their imaginative sense, and
Yep.
they could, it's like somebody going to the studio and becoming a studio gangster. They never done these things, but they know the lingo,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
so for me, it was always front line in saying, hey, because I survived prison, being shot, being kidnapped, stabbed. I've been there, done that. So
Oh
really,
wow.
if they ask me like, Q, what makes me different? My strength is my experience. I've been there literally and done that. On
I
the
like
death,
that.
on the table, dying, I almost bled out, and just to segue into the spiritual part just a little bit, uh, at basically dying on the operating table, and I said to myself, I could have died without knowing who I was. I could have
Ah,
died. I could have died before I knew whom I belonged to. You understand what I'm saying? I lost
yes.
so much blood that they had to give me something called crystalloids. I didn't know what that was. I had to file for disability because I was paralyzed. I couldn't walk. I was shot by my peer, by someone that I housed because they were homeless, and invited them to my home with my family, mothers and sisters. And this guy stole money and shot me. You understand what I'm saying? I was shot with a 12 gauge shotgun, about close range, and from my left thigh, inner thigh, and the I was shot with buckshots, bird shots, whatever people may know about artillery or whatever. And it was an enter exit wound from my inner thigh out my buttocks because it was close range. So fast forwarding, I'm here today, but those testimonies is the foundation, and Project Keep Them Off the Streets is really me. So it's kind of hard to have other people to tell this story because it's actually my life and my testimony.
Yeah.
So been tried and true, been there, done that, and just here as an advocate to give this information back to the people, the youth of the community, because I feel like they don't want to talk to the insurance man. So
They don't.
I never have a problem with dealing with the youth because I am them. I've been through some. I have the story to go.
I
You
am them.
know what I'm saying? So
I am them. I like that. I am them. I like that. I'm quoting you on quite a bit this morning because it my apostle spoke a word several weeks ago in reference to the hireling, and the scripture talks about the hiring, the hired help, right? And when you have hired someone, their heart is not as necessarily as passionate as the founder of the project, as the founder of the company. And as you were talking, regardless of anything else that you've done, Q, in your life professionally, you can tell that this is your heart's desire and this is your heart's work. I tell people all the time, our pain pushes us into our purpose, and just hearing you having a heart to go and save those that you can, be a different direction for them to take, a different journey for them to take. That is very honorable. And that is what we need. And then come on, let's just keep it real. The Black community needs more faces that look like us, doing and caring the way you are doing and caring and expressing on this show this morning.
thank you.
We'll take and we'll have our opinion on why the youth is so troubled, on
Mhm.
why the youth is on the streets, on why the youth is getting, into chaos and easily finding themselves incarcerated. But then we don't take and realize it's because we don't have the youths. We don't have enough you that are saying, okay, you know what? Let me teach somebody. You don't necessarily have to have my DNA. That's
Right.
kingdom worship. That's kingdom work, and I just applaud you for your continual efforts because, oh God, just
Yeah.
listening to your testimony, how it could have been over. And even at that moment, it could have been over, but you were still being of good service. You were still helping somebody else out, you know. And I just do believe people, you know, we can call it the enemy, the devil, the adversary, whatever you want to call it. I do believe that all of those tricks and snares comes to discourage us
Right.
from what it is that is our heart's work and our heart's desire anyway. So just, I don't have a
Yeah.
hat on, but I'm gonna tilt mine off to you. Just,
And let me say
you
this, let
know,
me let
but
me
what
let
we,
me add this too, like finish to what you were just saying. And whatever we call it, like you just said, all these entities or whatever, and
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
it's an obstacle if we allow it to be. Like they said,
mm,
it's not about how many times we fall, it's just how many times we can get up. And those adversary, whatever we were naming in this particular place, it's all to expire us prematurely, so we never get an opportunity to find out who we really are.
I had a conversation this morning, very early this morning, about okay, we go through things and it seemed heavy, it seemed unfair, but who allows that to happen? And you know, the person that I was talking to was like, me. No, 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 ma'am. God allows everything to happen to us that happens to us. And that may be hard to hear, especially when people that have gone through some stuff. But the moment that we step outside of being victim minded and we look at the journey, we'll realize that where we currently sit is much better than before we went through, you know. And it's like, even in going through, God is there. We could take and argue and dispute all day long, but you got to believe in a higher power than yourself.
Bigger than me.
Come on now, you got to know that, yeah, no, I didn't do this, you know. And so I, you know, making it personal. I just, you know, went through a bad spell with COVID, and I still have some leftover symptoms. I could be walking around mad with the world, especially when I know that I did everything and I don't understand. I can do all of that. Or I could take and say, okay, Lord, thy will be done. You created this vessel. Now, what am I? Why did this need to happen? What is it that I'm supposed to see? Can I shorten this ill sentence? You know, and at the end of the day, I'm better on this side.
Mm-hmm.
That may sound crazy, but I'm better on this side.
Yeah,
And I
and you're.
hear you talking, and you're better on this side.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you committed yourself to being the community activist that you are?
Give or take, I think it's like 20 plus years now, maybe 20 years now. And I want to say 20 plus years, and that could be 21, 22, 23, but 20 of them was straight out of my pocket. No grants,
Mm,
no, I probably within the last 5 years probably started getting small grants. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe $1,000, something like that. But if you can see, they go straight back to the community or the
yeah.
programs that we create, stuff like that.
So with Project Keep Them Off the Street, you guys are you housed somewhere? You have a location? Where's the status of Project Keep Them Off the Streets right now?
Well, we don't have a brick and mortar. We were utilizing every crimp and cranny we could: the library, recreational centers, senior citizens centers.
Gotcha.
We've been blessed that some parents cared enough to even allow us to come to their home and their community, because they cared about their community so
Mm-hmm.
much that we
Mm-hmm.
were able to make a few house calls in our past. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. But it's your heart desire, obviously, to have a facility, your
Yes, it is.
location where this troubled youth, be it girls or boys, because all of them need to be kept off the street. All of them
Right.
need, you know, to know that there is something greater than the mischief that they can find out on the street. So how is that going? Have you been looking for a building location? How is that going?
I'm always looking. I'm always praying and dreaming.
Amen.
you
Amen.
know, uh, just,
Amen.
just, but yeah, just looking, and of course, without the finances, and properly in place, then it might be a little obstacle. But we're asking, we're looking, and if someone's out there that can lead us in the right direction or be that blessing, we are open handed ready to receive.
Amen. Amen. You know, and it's amazing. People will take and sit and listen to your story. They'll sit and listen to all of the gruesomeness on the journey. But the moment they feel like you about to ask for something, you know, it's like you lose the room. Um, and I'm just so I understand. I've been there, done that. You know, I've been in business for myself since 2003. It's a long time.
Right.
And you know, yep, nope, no grants, no, none of that. But what I can tell you is that I've had immeasurable favor. God has opened the doors to things, buildings, people that I was not in a position to be able to afford the way you would expect for me to afford it, you know.
Exactly.
And so I know that in order to be standing and even to be able to smile this morning, you got to have faith. You got to know, you know what I'm saying, that this is your calling and you just gonna continue to do. And a lot of people, you know, well, if it's your vision, if it's this, then you should fund. Listen. God's word says, God's word says that your gifts will make room for you. It is a gift to be an humble man. I put emphasis on man. It is a gift to be able to know, be it man or woman, that you have tapped into the reason you were created. And just as sure as we've tapped into the reason that we were created, then that means the creator is going to provide what we need. You know, a lot of people think, okay, well, I got this vision and I want this and I should.
I think we froze up. Are you there? I can't hear you if you're still on. I don't know if you froze up or what. I can't hear you or see you.
Hey, I don't know what that was. I had an outage. Are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, all right. So, you know, when we're walking and understanding that we're in the favor of God, you know, that nothing else matters, nothing else, you know, is going to have me where I'm sitting somewhere in the front. Thank you, April. I see it. We're back. We had a outage, and I see that it has come back on, but we're gonna stay right where I'm at right now. Um, so yeah, you're in a position right now where you're needing the help, where you're needing someone to open up their building or their business, someone to be able to call you and communicate with you and let you know, okay, hey, this is what we can do. This is what we need. This is where we need to go. Pretty much, right?
Very much so.
Okay, hold on. Um, so for such a time as this, anybody that is on the feed this morning, anybody that is on the broadcast this morning, um, this gentleman has definitely committed his life to being what our youth needs. So if you know of anything, amen. If you know of anybody that he can reach out to, that he can communicate with. You know, we're definitely in that season to where um, we need you. We need you. And understanding that uh, money, yeah, we need that too, but the favor of God. If God has said to you that, you know what, this is your assignment, this is what you're supposed to do, this is a moment where we're needing you to be able to reach out. And we're going to share some information here to be able to, you know, for you to be able to reach out. So let's talk Q here now that I'm getting this in media straightened up. Now you do more than this. Hey, welcome to the world of social media, right? Um,
Right, right, right.
you do much more than this. Talk to us about the other things that you have going on.
Okay. Well, I am also owner of Seed. It's a family business. That's the first. That's an acronym as well. It's the first letter of my family's name from my wife, my daughters, and my son.
Okay.
Seed Loan and Hauling Service. You can
Okay.
find that page also on social media.
Okay.
Um, Mass Media, QTV Multimedia. Likewise, doing what you do. I brought in my platform to interview, promote, market, advertise for those that I brush shoulders with, that I
Mhm.
see on the ground, that I feel like some of us might never make it to the big screen,
Come on.
or the news interview. So I was like, let me open up my platform to give the community a firsthand look of some of the people that we probably just never heard of, and some of us running in the same circle, but just didn't know who was who or what they offered.
Right.
QTV Multimedia is where I, what you're doing, interviewing and putting that information out there for those that walk that road. We also have the lawn service QTV, and we have a clothing line as well, family clothing line that we do, and most everything we've created was for actually Project Keep Them Off the Street. My thought had always been that the youth needs money. What the world society shows them is all the glimmer and glamour.
Come on.
So they want that, but we don't teach them how to
How to
fish,
go and get it.
how to
Yeah.
go and get it. So,
Yeah.
like I said the other day, they watching TV, rap songs, and all they know. What's taught to them is to take it. So, how do we even the playing field? I try to position myself with the media, with the lawn service, with the community outreach and platform to say, hey, this is how we can make an honest day's living, put them back in their community, to do the same thing and make some money at the same time. And I feel like it's one thing to tell people to stay positive mentally, but then that thought process has can come and go. But to end poverty, we have to replace that with some money too. We have to do something to end poverty. It's just thinking it's not going to change the status quo. You know what I'm saying?
I like something you just said there. And oh God, you are so right. Um, there was something when you were talking earlier, I thought about something and I said, well, I'll wait to talk to him when we go off live, but I'm gonna talk to you right now because maybe somebody else needs to hear, to be involved in the process, to be involved in the movement. I think that's one of our problems anyway. We don't share what that idea is that God has planted in our spirit because we don't think that it's enough to go around. We are the kingdom of God. You just got your part to play. That's another thing, go ahead and fill the collection plate if you want to. But um, in the metro Atlanta area, uh, any given day, whether it's hot or cold, you can go to certain exits in certain neighborhoods, and you have 3 to 5 young Black youth males selling water,
Mhm.
selling Gatorade, right? Now, there's no harm, right? They trying to get their hustle on, but it matters how you do it. I remember one day I pulled up and this young man walked up to the car with a bottle of water, and his pants was down below his butt. He had on a dingy t-shirt. Hey, you want to give me $1? I said, no, but what I'm about to do is school you. Come on, let's have a conversation. I interrupted my schedule, pulled over to the side. I said, now, I'm thirsty, but you couldn't pay me to pay you for that bottle of water. Representation is everything. And a lot of us, instead of taking the time to feed, these babies are hungry. I applaud the incentive on trying to get out here and make a move with something as simple as a bottle of water.
Mhm.
Have you thought about getting involved with that? Have you
I
thought
do.
about how you
But
do?
you said to me, yeah,
Yeah.
I bought water for plenty of them. ML King, Panola Roll. I bought the water. I got a few interviews on one of my pages with me just pulling up in the West End and just interviewing them, and they all was giving out their Instagram pages, and you know what I'm
Ah,
saying. So I mean, there's nothing too much that I mean, from where I'm from and what I've been through. I mean, I tell people, if you're trying to keep up with what I'm doing just on social media, then you're gonna miss something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And so with you interviewing them and with you, have they become some of your regulars when it comes down to the project in itself? Or because here's, here we grow. Here we grow. What I see plain as day is a lot of times we take and go the journey and the route that makes sense to us
Mm-hmm.
when what it is that we are in need of is in a completely different direction,
Mm-hmm.
connected to somebody completely different than who I've been spending my energy and my wheels to connect to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Faithful over few things, he'll make you rule over many.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take like young men like that are showing the initiative,
Mm-hmm.
that means okay, they've made a move on this part.
Mm-hmm.
So God has equipped me with the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to understand the other part. So let me go ahead, And so when you say project, keep them off the street. That's the first thing coming to my mind. You know, Not only are we dealing with the troubled youth, but we want to be a light for those that are trying.
Right.
What would be a suggestion? How can we do that? Because I'm telling you, I'm a visionary. Honey, I already see a tent. We
Mm-hmm.
got your logo up at the top, and we got these same young men, and now we done properly dressed them. Come on now. I feel my help coming. We done properly dressed them. We done showed them how to approach a complete stranger to get what it is to achieve. Because we're opinionated.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time we pull up to a exit just en route to where we going, oh, here come the chilling again. That's normally what you get.
Right.
As opposed to seeing, honey, you're looking at the next best who, because he has an humble beginning. So
Mm-hmm.
what how would we be able to, and I'm in,
Okay.
how would we be able to do that? Because I told you I done already seen the tent. I don't
Right.
know where we're gonna get it from. And maybe somebody on here is gonna bless us with it. But the initiative
Mm-hmm.
consistently,
Right.
not just because today I made enough money, I got enough social media followings so it don't matter anymore. No,
Right.
the consistency is what brings about change.
Right.
So feed me here.
This is what we do at Project Keep Them Off the Street. Now I'm gonna answer your question. The first question you asked about those particular young guys. Um, a few of those groups that I saw, I just happened to be riding and saw them. But when I see them, I always pull over because we get phone
Mm-hmm.
calls and people are always saying, the N word, Q, what you gonna do with the kids?
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you stopping and talking to them? Like they need love too. In the community, we're only spotlighting the negative part. So for me,
Yes.
yeah, I've gotten backlash from pulling up because it's the hood, it's the gas station. They like, who are you? Who do I'm like, hey man, I come in peace. Here's my card, and the first thing I tell them before I pull off, hey man, stay out of jail, right? Stay out of trouble. Here's my card. You can go to social media. I be all day long telling you what I do, but go to social media, look at what we do and what we offer. And if you want to
Right.
be a part, reach out. Now, for those guys that you said, they were younger, so I did give them my card, gave them that 15 minutes, sat there with them, talk to them, see what their goals were, and let them know that we have their back and what they're doing. But them being young, I couldn't contact them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For
Yes.
they were the younger bunch. But what we offer as Project Keep Them Off the Streets, as the steps that you were speaking about, we have a leadership program and empowerment program.
Okay.
And everybody says leadership and empowerment, but I do believe everybody's programs are different. Like I'm more grassroots. So my programs are tailored to what I see, what I went through, the ins, the outs. I know where you're going, death, prison, street, jail. So our program is basically tailored to the community at large. So there's a preventative, method that we utilize. We don't want to wait till they go to prison and stuff like that to try to get to them for intervention. So we're always on a preventative measure. And I feel like I always tell the parents too, if you join Project Keep Them Off the Streets and you're able to get empowered, being taught that you are a leader, because we all have those qualities inside of us that has to be birthed. But I said, what's the likelihood of you going to the street if I'm teaching you how to get money early, and I'm teaching you time management, money management, and where to put your money, your thought process, how you see yourself in the mirror? What's the likelihood of you being a drug dealer or gang member, if you get this information? And I'm telling you how powerful you are. Right. You know what I'm saying? I ask in certain groups, and I say, who all know about gangs and stuff like that, and they all raise their hand. But I'm just like, sometimes you have to understand that when you join something else, and it could not be a gang, but what I'm saying is there's a possibility that you can lose your identity, right? In the process. And then do you know you're signing on to be a follower?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I can get this information to them prior to, where they don't have to make that life-changing decision so early, because that's what people need that are doing negative things. They need you not to know better. They need to catch you when you're in that state of mind where I don't know where I'm going, I don't know who I am. People need you to be in those predicaments to woo you.
That's good.
So I've never wanted to birth followers. I want leaders. I want to birth leaders. So when we do this and you get to that certain point, we can come back together and we can partner. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. So, okay, I'm hearing several different things here. We're gonna definitely give the information on how people can reach you, how they can support this movement, how they can support this vision. Now we know everybody, we're still smack dab in the middle of COVID and everything that it is, throwing off in the land. But even in this time, and I would think in this time, the youth needs us more, because you're having those underlying issues, keep it real, those underlying psychological issues that normally they were able to address or burn off steam because they didn't have to stay in the house, or they had this facility to go to because it was open, or they, you know what I'm saying? So now you have a group of kids just conjugating together, right? And getting all together, which is getting in a lot of mischief. Give us an example of how we can aid you. And I'm serious about this thing. I'm not just speaking French. I mean we when I say we. How we can aid you in this mission. One, let's go ahead and get it out there and be okay with it. The organization needs money to fuel and provide the things that the youth needs. It ain't like I'm, trying to provide for my child or my 3 children, or you trying to provide for your household. This is literally taking on the responsibility where there's lack in the community. So we're going to share with them how people can reach you to be able to donate, to be able, but talk to me about maybe something that you have coming up right now, or an idea that you would like to get help on, because this is real. What we do with our youth today dictates how our future looks. And I don't know about you. I don't want to be a senior citizen with these crazy children having to take care of us that we see now. Because, all bets are off. We in a bad situation if we don't take it, do what we need to do to equip them now. So give me some of your feedback on that.
Right. And I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to speak and be present. They say it's always good to be seen and not viewed.
Yeah, Jesus.
How you can yeah. So right now we do have programs that are virtual. Even our mentoring is virtual. Of course, you can always go to our website. That's www. The acronym for Project Keep 'em Off the Streets is PKOTS.org. Very simple. www.pcots.org. And you can leave a message, send donations, register for the program, food boxes, everything will be right there at your fingertips. You can also find us on social media. Facebook, it is PCOTS Incorp. Again, that's PCOTS Incorp. And Instagram, we are PCOTS_Inc. And we would most definitely get the message, and you can put your full contact information, and someone will be anticipating getting right back with you within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay, so what we got coming up next? What are we working on?
Our newest program or module. Let me say this too of Project Keep 'em Off the Streets, and why we name just about 95% of everything we do a project. And the definition of a project, if we know what the definition is a specific plan or design requiring concerted efforts and planning to complete an organized unit of work. Thus, we created Project Keep 'em Off the Streets. So everything we do, it's a project, unfinished. We're out here giving it our best shot, and always starting off on our good foot. So without the help of the community and funding, we need that.
Okay. And so I was able to put in the www.pcots.org for them to learn more and to support this movement. Excuse me.
Yes.
In the next, and I'm a woman of my word. I saw it plain as day, and I don't know why I keep seeing a tent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever done it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's time for you to do it again, or if it's the first time for you to do it. But I see a tent with your logo and some youth actually working that event. Because on hand learning and training is the best. I don't know about you, but I may forget something that somebody said, but it's hard for me to get something that I did.
Right.
And so even when I believe in scripture, train up a child in the way that he or she to go, and when they're old, they won't depart. Now, they may fall victim to crazy in the land, but because you planted that seed of stick and stay, they know the foundation that they stand on. So I don't know. I anticipate you letting me know in the very near future. Okay, Shanta, I heard you. So this is what we're going to do, and this is where you can meet. I'll be there with live coverage quicker than you can blink, because that's what it takes.
Right.
I've been in radio, 15 years. And one of the things that I do know is that it takes us to grow us.
Mm-hmm.
It takes us to support us. And there was a fellow radio personality put a message out the other day and said, listen, even with the independent artists, we got to give them some play for them to even become a household name. What are we waiting on? We're always looking to support those that we consider have arrived, and we don't even realize it's the one that you keep passing by that's doing the most work, that is implementing the most change,
Right.
So when I wrote down a couple of things. This is good, Q. I've heard you reference your spiritual beliefs. And I do believe that it takes a foundation and a heart of God to be able to stick this thing out for real. When it comes down to being tried, talk to us as we prepare to close this interview about an area in your life, be it now or before your now, where you know that there was really a trying time in your life, because transparency is how we grow best.
Right. Let me finish two things going back to what we offer right now. The newest program that we are presenting to the community is titled Boys to Men. This is a all male gender biased program. It is virtual. There's a $35 registration fee. With that $35, they get a certificate of completion, and they get one T-shirt bearing the logo of Project Keep 'em Off the Street. We consider this a boot camp. It is a maybe 2 hour and a half Saturday morning virtual program The model develops 10 core assets associated with positive identity, information, resilience to the young men. Focus on role of development assets, improving urban males' ability to deal with adversity, and to educate those on focus areas which are mentally, emotionally, socially, and increasing their chances of life success. We will be launching that, I believe, the first week in March. Yeah, you guys can reach out to us and we can, give you all that information. The age is from 10 to 18. And I just wanted to reiterate that I just believe as young men, I've always heard women say, well, you got to worry about boys, just put them on a pimp in a t-shirt, let them go. But so what happened was now you have us being young men and adult men that we missed out on a lot of things that we should have been taught. So I'm kind of going back with, with a little bit of how you'll grow, your mental, why you're growing hair now, a little bit about puberty, so we would know now the virtue of a man, and it's not a thing that you can obtain, which society keeps telling us. If you got money, if you got muscles, if you this, that makes you a man.
Right.
Wrong.
Wrong. Say it again.
Yeah, wrong. So that is called Boys to Man. Reach out to us, and we can give you more information on that if you like. Shouts out to my mom on the spiritual side, just to bag up what you were saying. I have a spiritual upbringing. My mom is about to celebrate her 37th year. Dr. Sarah Harper out in Decatur. She's on social media as well, bringing the word every Sunday, and woman to woman and leadership weekly. So you guys can kind of look that up as well. But other than that, going through it has been, like I said, my dad just passed last month, RIP to my father, and he was more of a material dad. He was always at home, but he wasn't the intricate part of talking and being visible and doing certain things. My mom was, so that had always been one of the things I wanted to deal with, because you always hear kids say, "Man, I never met my dad," or "My dad, is in prison," but then there are people that are in the house that are still absent per se. So
Right.
we never get to talk
good.
about that. We never get to talk about that part. That had
That's
been
good.
my, to see my dad all the time and wanting to be with him or wanting to do certain things. And we didn't always do those things. So that was one of the major key components of seeing my dad, knowing my dad, living with my dad. But it was so many things that we weren't doing. And so that created a whole nother issue mentally, spirit. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
I just feel like this day and time, we cannot continue to overlook or overshadow things such as that. And the friendship. The other thing was like, friendship is so overrated. I've always heard back in the day we call people homeboy, homegirl, and that really signified that you grew up with these people. So now you got friends, people calling friends, and they don't know that positions. If you go to work, you can't be a worker one and thinking you're a supervisor. So positions are important even in our lives. We got to stop saying people are our friends. Some people are confidant. Some people are just comrade. I mean, the title matters. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Me, you know what I'm saying?
It does.
And I know what a friend is because I'm a friend. I know what a friend does. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful of those type of things, because what we're seeing is people getting in trouble because they are associating and think that people, they expecting them out of others.
Say that again.
You know what I'm saying?
That we is good.
So I'm still learning at 45 to be like, what? People not going to do me how I do them. So I have to learn to, like, I got to get in, get out. I got to get in, get out, and not make it be so personal. You know what I'm saying? But, we are who we are, and we have feelings. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I meet new friends, I might have to get them an application or something. I don't know.
Well, you know what? It's funny you said that. I was blessed to interview CEO and founder of URB TV and Punch TV out of California earlier this week. And I asked him if there was something that he could do different, what would it be? He said, hire differently. A lot of times we put people in positions out of the term, we need this, or we're hungry for it, and we okay, well, I'll just at least put somebody here. But understanding that if I put somebody there that is unqualified to take and walk in what it is that we're birthing, it's gonna cost me more than it gains. So for you to even say, new friends, hey, you need an application. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, if we are for each other, then each one of us should be constantly moving up the ladder. It's not you know what I'm saying? Okay. Prime example. I'm in media, have been for years. And the Lord has been dealing with me here lately. I don't let everybody in my heart, because you'll be sitting somewhere crazy and rocking back and forth, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So you have to understand how to control it. Like you said, you got to be able to get in and get out and understand that everybody ain't going to do you like you do you. I agree with that. Everybody ain't going to see you or see the vision that God has allowed you to see. So I'm having to learn for myself that it's okay to take a fellow brother man with me. Take a fellow sister man with me. Now, it is not my job to take and go above and beyond and convince them that this is what they're wanting or should do. No, this elevator going up. Now, are you off, or am I waving at you? You know what I'm saying? You on this elevator with me, or am I waving by as we're going up the ladder? So I like that when you say new friends, hey, look here, I need you to fill out this application so I can see what area of my life you qualify to be in.
And give it some little look, and then give it some descriptions. And let me share this too before we get off of here. I want to go back to the gang situation, because I need parents to know that the gang situation is organized crime, and I want to specify some information. All gangs are not bad, depending on what's your definition and who told you that. And this is what I'm saying, because gangs are a cultural thing, which were initially either Chicago or California. So a lot of times what's going on in these different states might not even be a real offspring of what the original,
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And then, and I want people to know too, gangs, and if we want to talk about Crip of Blood, what we see now isn't what it really started out. A lot of people don't know this. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the acronym for Crip and Blood, it was all a community thing. It was all about protecting the community. Now, I we probably have to do another, interview to say what happened in history, but you guys can look that up. But it wasn't what it is, what we see today. You know what I'm saying? And if you think about the system, how some people saying it wasn't designed for certain people, whatever.
Okay.
But in the law of the definition of a gang, it's really 3 or more people possibly committing a crime. So 3 of us can be standing in front of a store. Okay. And how does some of these community gangs start? Like we were just talking about earlier, kids don't have anything to do. So you take 3 young men that don't have empowerment leadership, and they are outside, no money, and somebody say, hey, let's walk to the store. What you going to the store for? You don't have any money. So this idle mind becomes the advocate's playground.
You better come on.
So now we have a situation. Need I say more?
Nah. It's a setup.
Set up.
It's a setup. And even with what you were just educating me on, people perish because of the lack of knowledge. And it is easy, like you said, come on, let's go to the store. What you going to the store for? I know you ain't got no money, because we were just complaining about it.
Somebody finna steal something.
Right. That's what that wisdom is supposed to kick in. But because people are looking for a project, keep them off the street. And project keep them off the street ain't showed up yet. Well, I got to flock somewhere. I got to be a part of something. And that's why I said at the beginning of this interview, we need so many more men like you that don't mind showing up. That don't mind saying, you know what? Okay, no, you're not my DNA match. No, you're not my biological child, but I love you anyway. Let me love you to the best of you. As opposed to us falling victim to the material things and whether or not we're popular and whether, we got the latest gear. Because, honey, you can die quick in that latest gear as opposed to your mind being somewhere else. So the world needs more of this. And you better believe this is not our last interview. This is the
Thank
first
you.
of many, because
Thank
we're going to follow you in the things that you have going on. And I meant what I said to my OPNS family that has tuned in here. Support is how we grow. Just because it was not your idea, don't mean that God did not allow you to hear it for you to do your part. And your part could be simply picking up the phone and calling somebody and running and telling this, running and telling them about what's going on and what is needing the support of the community. I think about the notable men that are mentioned in the Bible. They didn't do it by themselves. Everybody always had help. And it was always a sacrifice for the person that was helping to help. And I think that if we get that mindset of understanding that kingdom growth is only going to take place when we operate as the kingdom, then a lot of our youth are going to suffer because we're not giving them this foundation. My hat's off to you, Mr. Harper. And, I knew when we met several years ago, we met under different circumstances, but they say you have to know the spirit by the spirit. And I knew that there was something unique. Didn't quite know it was going to lead us here. We had a mutual friend in common, Mr. Michael Dorsey, may he rest in peace. And that was my brother. I would tell everybody that was my brother. And I loved his heart for the community,
right,
out of his own pocket. And it's amazing. A lot of times I witnessed the weight of that he carried, because everybody was looking for him to do it, but nobody was looking to come and support. Nobody was looking to offer a building for this or donate a tent for that, or so the struggle, it continues. And so for those of you that are on the sound of my voice, those of you that have met Mr. Harper for the first time today, we're always looking for somewhere, to grow, somebody new to know, some area to plant. Today's the day, and this is the individual. Project Keep Them Off the Streets is just one of the things that he has going on, trying to shape and mold the mind of the youth now so that they do grow and develop into hard-working, determined young men. I'm in my mid-40s. So are you. In a good 25, 30 years, we going to need some young folks with some sense. We going to need some young folks that did not just fall victim to the streets because they needed to be a part of a gang that they didn't even understand how it got started in the first place. Look like you want to feed me something. I was going to give you the closing spot, but what you got? You adjusted your whole thing.
Hey, look, I was just coming a little closer. But I didn't know. I didn't know if anybody had any questions or something like that. So I was just listening.
Oh yeah. Well, as of now, we haven't gotten any. I always let them know it's opened up. Ask the questions. That's why we put the website out. Because trust me, just as sure as a question pop up, I'm gonna let you know, because that's what people perish for, the lack of knowledge. Hey, we put the website out there. Let them go to the website and read up and learn more and follow this man, because I'll let him tell you as we close. He needs you. He needs your support. He needs your genuine love and concern for the youth that we are losing expeditiously, and it ain't got nothing to do with COVID. He needs you. Project Keep Them Off the Street needs you. Boys to Men needs you. Mr. Harper, you got the floor.
Hey, like the good sister said, we actually need you. You guys have the website. We cannot do this alone. No one person or organization has all the answers, but together and a little bit goes a long way, and nothing gets us nowhere. Our motto is, it's okay to dream big, but just don't sleep too long.
I like that. I like that. Because you can't do nothing while you sleep. I like that, Mr. Harper. I love it.
Thank you for having us again. Just thank everybody for tuning in, and hopefully we can be of some type of service. If it's just a conversation, we're here.
Do you do speaking engagements for different, let's say if a church member tuned into this and they were moved by, what you were able to put out, do you take on speaking engagements to be able to go and speak to the youth at different
I've
facilities?
have been. I've gotten to that point because everybody that know me knew I was like, I didn't want to come speak. That was one of my weak points. But I am. God has really, did a miraculous thing in that area of my life. I mean, with all this information. So that's one of the things I'm working on is making sure I'm speaking more and putting out this information. More and more and more.
Okay. All right, OPNS family. This is, and I've shared this interview in a couple of, groups that I'm in. And one of the things that I said, this is one of the realest interviews I've ever done. We started out talking about, the different choices that you made in your own life, the different things that you've gone through in your own life. Hey, Mr. Q Harper ain't always been the positive Mr. Q Harper.
Not at all.
He had to go through some things, but while he was going through them, he was growing through them. And that's what this is about. Reach one, teach one. Understand that we grow best together. Keep them off the street. I don't know what I'm going to be involved doing with you guys, but you definitely have a supporter here.
Thank you.
And so we're going to do what we can because it's all about these babies.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. Thank you, Mr. Harper's team. OPNS family, here we grow best together. So understand that it doesn't matter how bad it looks, God has made you someone's assignment. And listening to this dear brother today, he is taking and making sure that he meet up with the assignments that God is letting him know. Okay, Mr. Harper, it is time for you to go there. Mr. Harper, it is time for you to speak over there. We grow best together. What are you waiting on? Please go to the website because he needs you for us to continue this journey to better our youth. OPNS family, thank you for tuning in. Mr. Q Harper, pretty sure we'll see you real soon. Stay focused, sir. Things are going to get ugly. Stay focused. Stay committed because it's the consistency of you walking in what God has charged you with that's going to make this world a better place. And I believe that with everything in my heart. Don't you go nowhere, Mr. Harper. Give me just a moment. OPNS family, I love you to life. Fabulous Friday to you. Go know that today, even though it's a rainy day in Georgia, it is indeed a fabulous day. What are you going to do with this blessed present gift from God? I love you to life. There ain't nothing you can do about it. I'll see you next Friday. Fabulous Friday. Here we grow.